Welcome back, everyone. We are excited here for set number 4 of the night. We've got Turtle Costa versus Rollermania. What am I saying?
Turtle Costa in the chat.
Turtlemania versus Roller Costa. We got some really cool stuff here. This is a rematch of a game that happened not too long ago. And the one thing I do want to note, also, hi Nibs, I haven't let you even talk yet.
Hey guys, what's going on?
This is our first time commentating together in a really long time.
I know, and me without Roller Coaster for the first time, and I have no idea how long.
Yeah.
Why can't you say hi to Echo?
Yeah, there's been some weird Twitch auto mods been catching some stuff, so if y'all's messages aren't going through, we're trying to approve them. It seems like it's catching strange like emotes. It's just catching emotes at random. We're not quite sure what's going on, but I'm super excited about this. We've got a battle of fire, ice, and water here going on with Turtlemania rocking the rain team. Also notably, Turtlemania won the very first Series 8 tour, the Nina Pokebros tour, with this team, and has a team report up. I'm going to get Tiki just linked it. Thank you so much for that, Tiki. So because it is public information, Roller Coaster and Turtlemania agreed to do open team sheets for this battle. So they both know each other's Pokemon as well as the moves and everything like that.
Yeah, I would like to take a quick second to point out that Snowman 1.0 in the chat just said Rollermania, and I like that one a lot too.
Yeah, that was right. I said Turtle Coaster and Rollermania. I'm messing them all up. We've had a little bit of change of schedule tonight. This was originally supposed to be game number 5, but we moved it on up. We're getting everything reconfigured and repackaged for y'all, but super excited to have this game. It's a weather war, which I think is exciting.
Absolutely, yeah. We're gonna see. Well, not really Venudon from Roller Coaster here, but it's going to be Cole Venu Cole. There you go.
Venu Cole, no skill.
No skill. Say no skill in the chat. I also feel that way about Torn Ogre as well from Turtle here.
Yeah.
Torn Ogre, it's just so overpowered. It's crazy.
Yeah, it is. It's a really strong combination. I think it's very evocative of kind of the Torn meta that we saw very early on in Series 7. We're seeing, Torn kind of proving itself as such a great supported Pokemon here. And we are going to be seeing the battle this time around from Turtlemania's perspective. So, also, if we get a shout out for both Turtlemania and Roller Coaster, both of them streamers, so make sure that we are better about doing those shout outs. I'm terrible at it, and I'm sorry.
All right, so it looks like Roller Coaster is going to start off here with Indeedee plus Mimikyu. Turtle just going right ahead with the Ogre out, and as well as the Regieleki. We are going to see the rain pop up. We're going to see some misty terrain.
Or psychic terrain.
Or psychic terrain, I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're good.
I literally read it and read misty.
That was one thing we were talking about this recently. I really wish that we got back to the old psychic terrain, misty terrain, where it changed the entire battlefield and it was so easy to see. That's so much clearer than the misty and psychic terrain looking roughly the same once they're on the ground. Yeah. But yeah, this is a really interesting lead. I think from here, Roller Coaster is incredibly free to get up a Trick Room. Actually, no, I take that back because double spread moves can completely redirect it. So not going to be super free to get this Trick Room up, but with the potential here of changing the weather back to the drought, it is going to cut off the power of this water pulse. I mean, the water spout. Mimikyu's disguise will be busted by this Electro Web, as well as lower the speed by 1 stage. I don't think it's going to mind if it gets Trick Room up, but its speed is down by 1 stage.
Yeah, and this Mimikyu's disguise being popped here leaves it wide open to this very speedy Kyogre. Water Spout is going to come out, and that's likely going to pick up. Oh my goodness. Well, it does get 1 KO, but that doesn't do a whole lot to Mimikyu, surprisingly.
Yeah, it is because the sun was set by that Torkoal. And this Mimikyu here is really here to set the Trick Room for this Calyrex Ice Rider. So I think we're about to see our 3rd weather of the game, if I had to guess, coming up relatively soon. I think we'll be seeing probably not into the Kyogre, but probably just a Max Wake going to go off into that Kyogre or into that Regieleki here, with the Calyrex being able to boost its special defense. It's able to go for a spread move if it so chooses, and just go for the Glacial Lance, looking to pick up some KOs. But yeah, having both the ability as one, which is essentially a Moxie plus a plus Unnerve, is really, really powerful.
Yeah, so we do see Professor Ragna in the chat here pointing out something that I think we might be seeing here, and if we do, it's going to do a lot of damage to both of Turtle's Pokemon here. Ragna saying Shadow Sneak weakness policy, so we might see a Shadow Sneak come from the Mimikyu into the Calyrex. That's going to do a lot of damage here if that is what happens.
Yeah, for sure. Now with Calyrex Ice Rider adding that psychic typing, it is weak to the super effective Shadow Sneak. And apologies about this stream quality's a little off right now. Hopefully it'll kind of resolve itself here. But yeah, this Calyrex gonna go ahead and get big. I think it's super interesting that the two Calyrex forms are the blue aura around their Dynamax as opposed to that red aura. Doesn't really mean anything, but I think it's cool aesthetically.
I agree, absolutely. So it is going to be a Shadow Sneak going into this Calyrex. Ragna has called it, and yes, Woke Flossie is right. Ragna does know Mimi, as Ragna right now is using Metagross plus, well, not right now, but Series 7 Metagross plus Mimikyu, and it is going to be a Max Quake going into this Kyogre. Doesn't do as much damage as I would have expected, but it does get the Spadef boost.
Yeah. Well, that was through Protect is the important thing to know. So
okay,
that just KOs outside of Protect. It's in a really, really clean position to pick up a knockout next time around. We see that having done, 40-ish%, maybe 35% through Protect, going to be doing a ton of damage next turn, as well as, potentially go for the KO on this Incineroar, although that Incineroar is probably going to want to cycle those Intimidates to try and get some of that weakness policy boost down. Unfortunately, if you don't have a Max Quake switch in with it, it's gonna get back its Intimidate.
Yeah, so Roller Coaster doesn't know whether there's a Tornadus in the back yet. So that's kind of something to think about. So you can't just go for a free Max Quake into this Incineroar is what I'm trying to say. Mm-hmm. Or even the Kyogre for that matter.
Yeah. We have the inside knowledge here that Turtle Mania does not actually have that Torn, so no Max Quake switch-ins to speak of. But we also just saw a really interesting play. I'm curious how this works out, if we see this or not. Getting down here right to the end, it looks like Turtle wasn't as prepared as much for the potential of Trick Room getting up. Rollercoaster obviously had to sacrifice a lot with sacrificing the Torkoal, but having access to, the ability to continually get boosts with this Calyrex Ice Rider, I think is probably a fair trade. And we do see it.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh my goodness.
Maybe we see it through this. The feed's getting a little choppy. We apologize about that. We're going to go ahead and try and fix this. I think that this might be a little issue that we're not going to be able to control for this best of 3, but we'll get it for the rest. We see the Incineroar Dynamax nibs.
We kind of see it. I love Dynamax Incineroar. It is going to be a Max Quake coming from this Calyrex once again, and it does target down that Incineroar. And oh my goodness, that does so much damage.
Oh,
that brings it down to 44 HP, and I don't know if this Incineroar is going to be able to KO in return. We are going to see a Max Flare, so we are going to be able to find out. It doesn't pick up a KO. It does do reasonable damage. That's about half health at max, if I can speak. And we are going to see the sun being set.
Yeah.
What is going on?
Quite a bit of damage there from into that Calyrex. Big Max Flare. I think it was because the sun was already up from that Torkoal previously, doubling the damage of that Max Flare. Really smart heads-up play by Turtle Mania to go ahead and take advantage of the weather as it was. And we do see here as this Incineroar goes for the Max Guard, and it's going to go ahead and catch the Expanding Force from the Indeedee. Really nice play there.
Yeah, absolutely. That's gonna. Oh my goodness, that's just straight Oko's Regieleki. That's very impressive from this Indeedee.
Yeah, this Indeedee now has access to redirection from this Incineroar if the Calyrex decides to ignore it, or it can just go for another Expanding Force, still being in Trick Room, and being able to just go ahead and get a ton of damage down into Kyogre. Something like Quake plus Expanding Force feels really tough for Turtle here. I guess
I've never seen the weather change so many times, and you actually pointed it out earlier that we could have potentially have seen Max Hailstorm come from Rollercoaster's Calyrex, and that may have been the first time I've ever seen 3 different weathers set in the same game.
Yep. So we see.
So this-
Oh yeah, go ahead. You're doing play-by-play. My bad.
This Kyogre here just goes for the protect on turtle side of the field. Close combat, going to be enough to finish it off coming from Rollercoaster's Calyrex. Going to lower the defensive side of Calyrex here.
Yeah, it is gonna the -1 defense and -1 SPDF probably not as important here, seeing as it's already at such low health, and functionally at this point any Water Spout, Origin Pulse, either of those two can do enough damage, especially the fact that the Twisted Dimensions have now returned to normal, and now Turtle's in this position where he has the Rain up, he has Kingdra, he doesn't have access to Dynamax anymore, but neither does Rollercoaster. Trick Room is up. Calyrex might be a +2, but it's just not in a great spot to be able to reset Trick Room.
Absolutely, and yeah, I think this Water Spout here from Turtle is going to do. It's going to be enough to pick off this Calyrex. I think even, well, Indeedee is not going to go first. I think Kyogre's, well, Kingdra goes first, and then Kyogre probably.
Yeah, it's gonna be really tough for Rollercoaster to pivot around here to not take a double KO from something like Water Spout plus Hurricane or Water Spout plus, if Turtle gets a little bit riskier going for a move that could miss, like Draco Meteor, Hydro Pump. We do see the opting for the Hydro Pump here. I think relatively fair targeting there, because if you get it, you get single target Water Pulse, but if you don't, then Water Pulse still probably picks it off.
Could you imagine if it actually was Water Pulse?
Water Pulse, Water Spout. I'm saying the wrong thing left and right here.
That would be crazy. I would have a lot. I would say props to Turtle. So Expanding Force does come out from the Indeedee here. Does reasonable damage to this Kyogre, bringing it down to 69 HP. And Rollercoaster, however, does still have this Mimikyu remaining.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm sorry, Jim. I had to say that about the Water Pulse.
No, yeah.
Just because it's actually an attack.
I'm calling it wrong. I was blown away right there. I didn't realize that Psychic Terrain had expired, so that Expanding Force was only single target damage. Had that still been up, that would have been big to get a bunch of damage down onto Kingdra, which has pitiful special defense. Now in this positioning, Rollercoaster is obviously in range of a potential Water. Water Spout at this much health, probably not going to be enough to get it, but gonna have to maybe go for something like Precipice Blades, and Turtle Mania has access to something that could be 100% effective with that Hurricane.
Yeah, I think the Hurricane is just free here. Yeah, the battles can't. I was gonna say I think Turtle just pretty much has it wrapped up. They can almost click anything in the situation, and get the win. So yeah, very good first game there. What do you think, Gemma?
Yeah, I think the Weather War was particularly interesting. We saw really only two weathers throughout the entire thing, but we saw them change. One, it went rain, sun, rain. Or no, rain, sun, yeah, rain, sun. No, I don't know. I think it was only like 3 changes, but at the end of the day, it was, we were seeing max flares in the sun. We were seeing just kind of really good defensive pivoting from Rollercoaster early on to ensure that he was able to get that Trick Room up with the Mimikyu. But unfortunately, having to sacrifice your Torkoal and not having access to Torkoal in Trick Room makes things a little bit harder. Not having those spread moves immediately on the field threatening damage is it can be kind of a big problem here. But yeah, I'm really interested to see how these players adjust. There might just be a Weather War trying to vie for control of speed in this next game. If something like the Charizard or that Venusaur come out, Venusaur, depending on its set, could be really nice. I don't think we've seen a Life Orb, so it could potentially still be that Life Orb Venusaur. I would probably guess that's on the Charizard though, unless he opts for something like a Chardy Berry, being afraid of rock type attacks.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we're definitely going to see the Calyrex. Do you think Trick Room is the way to go? I think that was a really good way to stall out the entire game, but I think Turtle really just benefited so much from using the switches, set and flare with Incineroar, as we see Gale VGC in the chat talking about how they max flare, so that way the rain doesn't end when Kyogre comes on the field, or after Kyogre comes on the field, and allows that Kyogre to set the range for Kingdra in the endgame.
Yeah, and I think the Incineroar had to max. It was the only way to not force out either Kingdra or Kyogre, because if it doesn't max, it goes down to a Max Quake. And if it does, it was able to stall out just enough by living one, +1 Max Quake. I think it's a really important calculation for Rollercoaster to have, that +1 Max Quake, just not enough. If potentially he has something like Indeedee out there, a helping hand could come out. I don't know this Indeedee set. Turtle does know this Indeedee set, so we do see actually the exact same leads here from both trainers, so I think that's interesting.
Oh wow, it looks like Chase fixed the points thing, and it even tells you what rank you are.
Oh, nice.
I can't wait to check what rank I am.
For sure. So yeah, again in this positioning where Rollercoaster has to decide, do I let I have to either choose between my Torkoal going down and getting Trick Room up, and then maybe I just try and utilize it a little bit better.
I'm sorry. I'm reading chat. Chase just checked for me, and I am ranked number 1. I have so many points. So Electro Web does come out from this Regieleki on Turtle's side of the field. Does about half health to the Torkoal, and it's going to pop the Disguise on that Mimikyu. Sun is up, so if Turtle clicked Water Spout, it's not going to do that much damage to Mimikyu as we saw previously. Yeah, and it is going to be Water Spout coming out. Going to do enough to take out the Torkoal, it looks like. Brings Mimikyu down to about half health. And yeah, we do see that Turtle faint, unfortunately. Trick Room does go up, however, for Rollercoaster in this situation. So going to be a 3v4 here now after turn 1.
Yeah, it is going to be 3v4 after turn 1, but I think it's going to be really tough for Turtle to not take the KO. It's going to have to kind of come down to what Rollercoaster targets here. I think last game, seeing that -1 Max Quake isn't enough to KO the Incen while it's Dynamax is a really important calculation for him.
Yeah, absolutely. I think if I'm Rollercoaster in this situation, I'm predicting the Protect from Kyogre or potentially a switch out into Incin. Looks like Turtle is kind of debating their options here in this situation as well.
Yeah, did I miss that last game where it was Shuckaberry and it lived the Max Quake doing like 80-90% with the Shuckaberry? Is that what did I miss that last time around?
I guess so. I think I must have missed that as well, and I'm honestly pretty impressed.
Yeah, if it did that much, that is.
Chase just said Mibs is first place and he has triple the second place's points.
Well, that's not too dissimilar from the points over in the Discord, with me being first in chat points and being triple almost everyone else. Here, unsurprisingly, we see Rollercoaster go ahead and get his max. I'm curious to see what happens right here.
Oh, yeah. Actually, I think Ebenezer mentioned that previously, or maybe it was Echo that did. Calyrex has Unnerved, so that prevents the Shucka from going off. We are going to see a Protect here from Kyogre. We're going to see the tech come out from Mimikyu again, where it's going to Shadow Sneak the Calyrex and get the Weakness Policy trigger, and we're going to see potentially a dead Incineroar here, but it is actually just going to target down that Kyogre. Oh, no, it does go into the Incineroar. I thought we saw it turn towards the Kyogre.
Yep. Again, this Calyrex kind of proving its power with shutting down that Shuckaberry, completely ignoring it, getting the KO, nullifying the Intimidate, so it's back to +2 with that Chilling Neigh going off, and now it's set to just really sweep. It's going to be pretty tough for any of these Pokemon to get going against it. The Kartana obviously can get some big damage off, but it's going to have to wait until after Trick Room if it wants to have any hope of moving, and I don't see a way, knowing that this Kyogre protected last turn, I don't see a way through it with stopping this Calyrex from getting a KO this turn.
I'm sorry, Chase is cracking me up right now. He knows it too. All right. Go ahead, Gemma.
Question. Do you think that this Regieleki lives a Max Quake +2 Max Quake through Protect?
No.
I don't either.
No, I don't think it will. But the bad thing for Turtle here in this situation is if they do opt to switch in the Kartana for the Regieleki, that I don't think it will KO, but it'll be super close if it doesn't. We are going to see Mimikyu here switch out for Rollercoaster. Gonna be that Indeedee this time around. Setting up that terrain once again, I believe. Oh, maybe not. Maybe it's already up.
Yeah, it's already up. It hasn't had a chance to expire just yet.
So we are going to see a Dynamax coming from a Pokeball here on Turtle's side of the field. It is going to be that Kyogre, as we know that Turtle actually prefers to Dynamax Kingdra. That could potentially lead Rollercoaster into believing that the Kingdra is not around this time. Regieleki is going to protect. Let's see if we do see a Max Quake coming from the Calyrex. It is going to be a Max Quake. Who is it targeting?
Oh,
it's actually targeting the Kyogre. That does so much damage, bringing it down to 114 health points at Dynamax, which is tremendous damage.
Yeah, and looking at this, going for a Max Geyser in the sun here, not going to be doing a ton, especially into a +2 special defense. My god, that did almost nothing.
I would say it was non-zero damage.
It was literally non-zero because in Pokemon you can't do 0 damage. There is a minimum amount of damage you can do, and that is 1. But now this Indeedee and like the Calyrex just goes for whatever KO it wants, right? The Kyogre could Max Guard just to try and stall out more turns. The Regieleki looks like it's opting for a double here. It gets the double.
I want to see this. I want to see a Max Quake go into the Regieleki. Yeah,
we do see the Max Quake here. Just go ahead and go into the Regieleki. Yeah.
Thank you, Rollercoaster.
Yep.
You confirmed it for us.
For sure. No questions there. Plus, now +3 attack. This Calyrex is gonna be really tough to beat, especially given the fact that it has +3 special defense as well. Gonna be living these water Max Geysers in the rain significantly better, and that Kyogre is down. It's gonna have to choose only one target next turn, and I don't see a way through it.
Yeah, so still doing non-zero damage, brings it to half health here. Kartana is going to come in. I think it's a little too late in this time for Turtle. Maybe Turtle just kind of testing things out here in game 2, because I feel like they really want to go for kind of the method that he used in game 1.
Yeah, for sure. With all the information access, Rollercoaster knows this is Assault Vest, knows that Expanding Force probably not gonna be enough to take it out, and might position here to go ahead and target with the Calyrex into that, and then the Kyogre next turn can be Follow Meat away.
Yeah, so actually just going for the close combat into Kartana, just gonna pick up the KO. So I think this game is definitely wrapped up, unless this Kyogre can do some insane damage with Water Spout here, but it can't because it's at low health, and Rollercoaster is so boosted, especially defensive.
Yeah, because there's the Twisted Dimensions have returned to normal, as well as the Psychic Terrain reverting, but the most important thing, well, I guess actually, okay, it is now back. I thought it had one more turn of Dynamax. I miscounted there. So something like you need an Origin Pulse hit, and for that to be enough to take this out, and I don't even think it is enough to take out the Calyrex, much less that Indeedee, which we saw live a Water Spout from full HP previously. So Origin Pulse not going to be enough, even in the rain. So yeah, really good adjustment.
I don't remember from looking on screen here in this set, but from looking at the, I actually watched Turtle's team report on his YouTube channel, and it doesn't have Origin Pulse, I believe. I think it's just Water Spout, Scald, and Ice Beam Protect.
Okay, yeah. So then, yeah, no chance then. And I even think at the health it was at, a Shadow Sneak from Mimikyu comes in the end and just closes it out. So it was Rollercoaster had 100% win con, even if, I don't know, like I guess the lose condition there was basically like his internet dies, which sometimes you're in those positions, like
it's definitely happened before. That's happened to me in a Monday Night Friendly where I lost one of my games. And we actually had to play the third game on Showdown, I think.
Yeah, that's right. I remember that because your internet had died.
That was against Sharpedo, now that I remember.
That was, yeah. And I remember your game 2 he started it before we told them to start. Before we told them to start, so you led with something terrible, which was just an unlucky cut. I think here it's gonna be really interesting. Rollercoaster clearly has a strategy, and it's just gonna really come down to, does he have the ability to continue to get up the Trick Room, or what's Turtle Mania's best option to shutting down Trick Room? With Follow Me support, it's gonna be really tough.
Our stream bot is acting so funny. It just tried to prevent Ragna from saying noggin.
That's strange.
Oh my goodness! That just means head. What do you think is the better archetype here, Torn Ogre or Venodon?
It's hard to argue with Torn Ogre's success thus far in the meta, and this isn't even Venodon. This is just Venu Cole with.
Amy made a poll.
Amy made a poll. Okay. I don't know. I haven't played enough to know. I'll be honest. I haven't played very much Series 8 yet. We see here Turtle Mania going ahead and opting to Dynamax on turn 1 with this Kartana, probably trying to get some beast boosts up. The Indeedee is going to be able to redirect this attack away, as the Mimikyu will get the Trick Room up if that's what Rollercoaster is looking for.
Yeah, and this Regieleki just going for that Volt Switch into Indeedee does actually a lot of damage. Maybe that shouldn't be too impressive, but Turtle here just free to switch in Incineroar here. Gonna get an attack drop off into Rollercoaster's Mimikyu.
Yeah, which funnily enough actually might be better for Rollercoaster's. Now this Mimikyu is doing slightly less on that Shadow Sneak.
Yeah, and it's gonna be a double into this Indeedee here. From Turtle Mania, gonna get a Steel Spike going in, and not only getting the attack drop into this Mimikyu, but gonna get the defense boost as well. Maybe the Mimikyu is not that important, and I shouldn't be pointing it out, but...
Yeah, I really think it's this Calyrex Ice that wants to do this, but the other thing is now, this Kartana Dynamaxed, and Rollercoaster didn't have to sack his Torkoal. What's stopping him from just bringing in Torkoal and going for Eruption on this turn? Knowing that this is Assault Vest, it's not letting that. It'll move first because Psychic Terrain is up and it can't be faked out. I think it's pretty free. I think it's
free as well.
It's not going to get a double KO because Incineroar will obviously still be in a fine position. But because he wasn't forced to sack the Torkoal on turn 1 like the previous 2 games, this Torkoal now in Trick Room is going to be really difficult to deal with in and of itself.
Yeah, absolutely, I agree. Kind of curious to see what Turtle does here in this situation. It's AV Kartana. No, there's no way it can live an Eruption in the sun.
Not in the sun. If Turtle decides to go ahead and bring in the Kyogre here to set the rain instead, then that's one potential strategy where he could potentially switch it in for the partner. But then the Incineroar isn't really doing anything, and you have to deal with whatever the Mimikyu does as well. So it looks like Turtle Mania here opting on turn number 1 to just go ahead and switch out of his Dynamax. Got the 1 Steel Spike, got the defense boost onto the Incineroar, and is going to opt for this switch into Kyogre and rechange the weather again.
Yeah, I kind of think that slot may have been wrong, or do you think Turtle is smart in kind of preserving that Kartana?
I think it's a play for preserving Kartana for the end game, because he still clicked the parting shot on the Incineroar afterwards, so it was clearly the intention. Because I don't think based on the speed tiers here, you can't parting shot into the Kyogre and reduce the damage of Eruption. It was basically just saying, like, I can either lose my Kartana right now, or I can wait to not lose it later.
Well, what I was kind of suggesting was you could have left your Kartana out, and in the rain, you're gonna live, and you can probably get rid of, that. What's it called? Your attack is boosted.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't.
It did have a +1 beast boost as well as +1 defense.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, but here the play rough is coming out from that Mimikyu. Still doing this, like, for being, I was going to say that's a critical hit. I was like, for being not very effective, -1, that's a lot of damage. But unfortunately not Not a lot of damage here.
Just a crit.
Yeah, just a crit coming up from that Mimikyu. Doing an extra little bit of damage to put it in a slightly better position. Also, I forgot to update the overlay. Let me go ahead and change that since Rollercoaster took game number 2.
Mm-hmm.
My number 11.
Yeah, so it is going to be the Incineroar being switched in for that Kartana. Intimidate's going to come out. Going into this Mimikyu one more time, I might as well mention it since I have before. Got to keep it consistent. Yawn's going to come out from this Torkoal into the Flying Fish here, the Kyogre. Phantom Force is going to come out from the Mimikyu. Wonder who that is targeting. More than likely the Kyogre. Water Spout's coming out. Mimikyu dodges it in the rain. There's no way this Torkoal lives. It probably dies about 4 times.
Yeah, the Torkoal, despite what we've seen in the anime, doesn't really enjoy water, especially in the rain. But that's also a free switch into the Calyrex, and now this Calyrex in a position, it won't have its weakness policy boost, but I tend to think it doesn't need its weakness policy boost for a Max Quake neutral into the Incineroar. You can switch into the Kartana, obviously, but that's still not going to really enjoy it. You are guessing that this Kartana is probably going to switch in for the Kyogre, knowing that, or I guess it could be the Regieleki, but Regieleki dies to literally anything. So
yeah, absolutely. We see Chase talking about a free maxed Knuckle from this Calyrex, and I gotta say I completely agree, and you're gonna want to do that too, because this Incineroar is just gonna probably try and cycle the Intimidates to try and mitigate the damage coming from this Calyrex. Incineroar is just gonna return here, however. Regieleki is gonna come out in exchange for it. We are going to see a Dynamax here, and you can't Dynamax a Phantom Force Pokemon, so it must be the Calyrex.
I gotta say, I'm a little impressed by Rollercoaster catching this in a Premier Ball. I know how much we all struggled going for these low-speed, zero-speed Pokemon. That was a really long few days where we were all hunting them, where we thought you just had to get the Calyrex, save the game, realize, nope, to get Glastrier, it's a totally different IV spread. We do just see the Max Quake coming out from this Calyrex, and go ahead and go into that Regieleki, and it will go ahead and let this Calyrex get up to +1 with its As-1 ability, and it will be threatening big damage next turn.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're about to see how much damage this Phantom Force is about to do.
-2 Phantom Force.
Mm-hmm. It needs to crit again. If this is a Water Spout coming out, it might do it's just gonna be a Scald fishing for the burn, and they do get the burn here in this situation. So Calyrex is gonna have a tough time producing damage. However, this Kyogre is asleep thanks to that Torkoal clicking Yawn in the previous turn.
Yeah, I'm always a little wonkier after we get past +2, but I believe +3 in burned is gonna. I mean, it's obviously gonna be stronger than just a neutral Calyrex Ice Rider. The only question is it strong enough here to still KO this Incineroar? I would guess yes. I would guess that Shadow Sneak plus Max Quake into Incineroar should be enough. But I guess we'll kind of have to see. Mimikyu could potentially continue to preserve its disguise, which might be really nice for an endgame. It is -2 now, with no means of switching out.
Absolutely. So we are going to see the swap here. Incineroar is going to go ahead and be replaced by the Mimikyu, and we are going to see the Shadow Sneak go into the Calyrex, so finally proccing that weakness policy, kind of neutralizing that burn a little bit. And it is going to be a Quake coming out, targeting down what is probably the Kyogre, I would say. Oh, it's actually the Kartana, and it brings it down to 5 HP.
It does narrowly miss out on the KO there, but the real question is, Mimikyu could pick it up with the Shadow Sneak next turn, but, you got to be a little bit afraid of the fact that I think that this Mimikyu has to go for Trick Room. If you're Turtle Mania, you have to really hope for a turn 1 Wake to get damage off onto Mimikyu before being able to take it out with that Kartana, and it looks like not even gonna opt to mess around with that. Let this Mimikyu go ahead and get its second Trick Room of the game up without its disguise broken. I think that's kind of incredible.
Yeah, I think Turtle allowing Rollercoaster to set Trick Room in this turn just wins the game for Rollercoaster. If this Cali
does wake up. That's that could have been game for Turtle if the Kyogre had woken up and the Kartana had targeted that Mimikyu. It could have been really difficult, and it looks like gonna go ahead and let this Incineroar switch in. That's a Swords Dance right there.
Oh man.
It is a critical hit. Unsure how much that mattered because it was still at what, +1 or +2, but that's a big change in direction here. If this Mimikyu just goes ahead and set Trick Room right here, pretty much game.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so the Trick Room does get set here by Mimikyu. So that means that in order for Turtle to win, this Calyrex is going to have to do hardly any damage.
And we know that this Calyrex is what, +3 or 4, I'm not exactly sure, between Rapid, Intimidate, Switch Outs, but also Max Knuckle and KO. It's in a really fine position here. We know that Scald is probably the most damage that this Kyogre can, reasonably get into this Calyrex. It's at +2 special defense. I think it's kind of game here.
Yeah, I think it is +3 with the burn. I don't see this being possible for Turtle. I think it had to go for that double, and it is going to be a Shadow Sneak here, just taking out that Kartana. So now it's just going to be Turtle's Kyogre here versus Roller Coaster's Calyrex and Mimikyu. Close combat's going to come out, and that does just wrap it up. So
Yeah.
Roller Coaster gets his revenge on Turtle, as this was a channel points match to try and get that second win here from Turtle in a Roller Coaster, as we saw Turtle win, I think it was 2 weeks ago, maybe 3.
Yeah, 3 or 4. It was a little bit longer ago. I think we had to kind of push it out because we've had so many signups.